Hi, today we're going to talk about the Blue Note 80th Anniversary Reissue series. Welcome back to Introduction to Jazz Vinyl Collecting in 2021. This is a series that was, of course, celebrating the 80th anniversary of Blue Note Records, of the founding of Blue Note Records from 1939 to 2019. Historically, this series really owes a debt of gratitude to the president of Blue Note Records, Don Was, and his working relationship with someone called Joe Harley, aka the Tone Poet. And the Tone Poet series of Blue Note reissues will be the subject of the next video. But this series is actually going to be easier to understand as the thing that became the Blue Note Classic Reissue series. So the Blue Note 80th anniversary, at some point it was no longer the 80th anniversary, and there was a little bit of a philosophical shift in the titles that were being reissued from the Blue Note 80th anniversary campaign to the Blue Note Classic series. Otherwise, though, the records are all very similar. So if you've seen my video on the Blue Note Classic Reissue series, you'll be expecting this. We have a direct to board, really nice photograph. I mean, this Herbie Hancock photo is nice and sharp and replicating the original back of the album. Of course, there was no barcode and Universal Music logo on the back, but same idea as the Blue Note Classic Reissue series. The lacquers were cut by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, and they were plated at RTI, and then all the metal parts were sent to Optimal in Germany, and the records were pressed there. So again, we have, let me turn this around. They look very similar to the Blue Note Classics series, and this record could have appeared in both series. You can see in the runout here, I think it's just going to be KPG at CA. Where is it? There it is. Yep, Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. So the neat thing about the Blue Note 80th series, aside from it being a real revelation in high quality, low cost vinyl reissues when it came out, remember this predates the Blue Note Classic Vinyl Reissue series. So these were the first records that were appearing from Blue Note that really had a top shelf mastering chain and production chain that were retailing for about 22 bucks a pop. The little spicy thing that Don Was did was to create thematic releases in the Blue Note 80th series. So for example, there was a series called Blue Note Debuts. So Herbie Hancock taking off in the Blue Note Debuts. You got Dexter Gordon doing all right. Now these are all albums that could have been released in a greatest hits. Freddie Hubbard, Open Sesame, got Introducing Johnny Griffin. But it was kind of cool because in any given month there would be a theme. There was Blue Grooves, which was bluesy albums. There were Blue Note Debuts. There was a Live on Blue Note Records. I can't remember what that theme was called. And then one of the other cool ones was the great Reid Miles covers. Reid Miles made a lot of the iconic Blue Note Records covers. So here are some records that were part of the great Reid Miles covers series. This is Kenny Dorham's Una Mas. I'm trying to hold it so you don't get the glare here, but that's what it looks like. You got Art Blakey, Indestructible, this awesome halftone picture of Art Blakey. So you can see up close, it doesn't look like much. And then Joe Henderson, In and Out. And again, most of these, maybe with the exception of probably, no offense to Johnny Griffin, but Introducing Johnny Griffin and maybe Doing All Right, Dexter Gordon would be tend to be excluded from greatest Blue Note albums of all time shortlist. Maybe Open Sesame wouldn't make that either. And certainly Freddie Hubbard would be on the list as a player, Dexter Gordon, and again, Johnny Griffin might not make the cut. Sorry, Johnny. Great saxophone player though. But it was fun to collect these as they came out because if you were buying them all, in a given month, you would get kind of a theme pack of 3 or 4 records. And after these sort of spilled into 2020, but eventually Blue Note wound down this series, and then they rebooted the exact same idea of going from the master tape to the finished product, but rebranded it the Blue Note Classic Vinyl Reissue series. These records are great. They sound great, with one possible caveat if you are sensitive to changes in pitch. There is sort of notorious issue that you can hear on some of the records more prominently than others, but seems to have been a part of the production of a lot of these masters, where the pitch of some of the instruments tends to warble, vary over time. And not everyone can hear this. So you can imagine in internet chat rooms, people talking about these records. First of all, they're writing about music and their own personal perception of it. Some people can hear it very clearly, some people can't hear it at all. And it led to a lot of just arguing for no reason. But to give you a sense of the issue, the idea is that a lot of the records are plagued, if you can hear it, and if not, then there's no problem, by variances in pitch. So a note, instead of just being one pitch, we'll have kind of a whammy bar effect. So I don't know if you can hear that. And it's something that is a natural part of playing a lot of instruments. Saxophone, trumpet all have vibrato to varying degrees, and certainly guitar. The problematic records, if you're going to encounter a problem, would be the ones where the piano is really up front. And in particular, Herbie Hancock's Inventions and Dimensions has a lot of really naked piano portions. There's a song called I Jump Ahead, and on that one, Herbie Hancock is hitting these dense piano chords. And a piano is not an instrument that is supposed to have a whammy bar. So if you can hear that, that might be kind of a bummer for you. I'm in the camp of people where I can hear it, but it doesn't bug me. But I know it drives a lot of people nuts. So before you go out and buy every last one of these, you might go with Herbie Hancock Taken Off or Inventions and Dimensions, both great records. Those should be on anybody's short list of titles to pick up, and see if you notice anything fishy going on. And if not, then you're probably good to go. I didn't mention this in the Blue Note Classic Series video because at some point this was quietly fixed behind the scenes, and we don't really know for a fact what was causing this or what was changed, but the problem doesn't seem to exist anymore in any of the recent issues from Blue Note. So that is the Blue Note 80th anniversary series, and definitely they're worth checking out, and they're a lot of fun. Not all the titles are essential. You know, some of the live dates, there's a Grant Green Alive. I love Grant Green. I don't particularly like that record. There's also quite a bit of kind of more modern stuff. So you've got Robert Glasper from 2005. Actually, there's not that much, but certainly it goes out of the late 50s, early to mid 60s. You've got Donald Byrd, Ethiopian Nights, great record from 1971. John Scofield, Hand Jive. So again, it's a cool series to dip your toe into and get exposed to maybe a wider swath of jazz than you may already know, and they all sound great. So next up will be the Tone Poet series, which is really interesting because that's really the kind of in a lot of ways representing the past, present, and future of high quality, you know, audiophile vinyl jazz reissues. And I think the future is going to look a lot like these Tone Poets. Thanks for watching.